Hi, Grace chatting here again, and welcome to this new series, Beyond Surviving Living with an Alcoholic, or indeed beyond living with in any difficult marriage situation, whether you're still in it or you've just managed to get out of it. There is a need for recovery. So, the focus on this recording or blog is reclaiming your voice. Because after years of living in an emotionally unstable environment, maybe a lot of unpredictability, a lot of uncertainty, maybe some gaslighting, many people find that their ability to make decisions and to trust those decisions that they make, it's been deeply compromised. So your voice might have been silenced, dismissed, invalidated, overlooked, not valued, it didn't count, and your choices are questioned, are disputed, are overridden. And your self confidence may feel like a distant memory, quite frankly. So, but here's the truth, your voice is still there and it hasn't disappeared. It has simply been suppressed, waiting for permission to re-emerge. And I hope this video series will help you to do that. So why does decision making feel so hard? Well, like I've just said, when you've been criticized, doubted, maybe even punished for your choices, you internalize a dangerous belief, and that is, I can't trust myself. And believe me, I know from personal experience, it takes a long time to reinstate some self-belief and trust. So the belief of I can't trust myself leads to overthinking every choice, self-doubt, a lot of self-doubt, fear of making the wrong decision, paralysis in the face of options, just getting stuck like a cat in the headlights, and looking to others for validation or approval, because you just literally can't trust your own judgment. And you may even avoid decisions entirely, just analysis paralysis, just do nothing out of fear that they'll lead to conflict or judgment or shame. So, how do you reclaim your voice? Well, first of all, I've got some tips here for how to do that. So, first of all, start with low stake decisions. Start making what seem like small and trivial choices, micro choices, if you like, that can be micro rehearsals for making good decisions and choices. And that's really deciding what to wear what you want. Notice yourself wondering about what other people might think about what you wear. For example, I remember being told only tarts wear dangly earrings. And I liked dangly earrings, hangy earrings. I liked them, but I never wore them. But when I got divorced, I was going to say the first time, I've only been divorced once. When I got divorced, it was liberating for me to wear dangly earrings because I liked them. They made me feel free and new. So make your own micro decisions for what you eat, what you wear, when you eat, what you read, when you read, and what you listen to. They may seem trivial, but they're not trivial. They are micro rehearsals for personal agency. So, secondly, learn to speak up. You may not be used to it, you may be used to dumbing yourself down. And consequently, when you do speak up, often you just blurt things out, especially if you're a neurodiverse person. You'll just blurt things out and it doesn't come out how you mean it to come out. But practice finding your voice and reclaiming your voice and sharing your views in safe spaces, such as, my online group, Rebuild Your Life. The link is down below. You can join that group. It's a safe space where you can share your views and be seen and heard in a supportive space. And that helps to recalibrate and get some confidence back. Or, you know, if you got into that relationship young, maybe you never really developed your own confidence. So it's a place to start and set the intention and pay attention to reclaiming and developing your own voice. And thirdly, use a reflective process. I've been a long time journalist. I journal. I journal. I love to write in journals, just like that. Yeah. And I've got lots of journals. But so before asking advice, ask yourself, what do I really want here? And you can write it out. What do I really want here? Or sit and contemplate that. And not thinking about it, but allow the other part of your brain, the right side of your brain, to be exercised. And I wonder what it is I really want here. And then listen to yourself. And this primes your inner voice to speak first rather than being overridden, because sometimes you get so used to being overridden that you override yourself without realizing that you've started to do it just to keep yourself safe. And then you can get into, and I can tell you, you can get into a lot of sad and sorry situations from a lot of things never being said that should have been said or needed to be said or needed to be said sooner. So it really is useful to reflect on, what do I really want here? And communicate it and express it. Expressing it is important. So make peace with past mistakes. Look, you're allowed to make choices that don't work out. Is there anybody alive on earth who has never made a choice that didn't work out? You don't have to spend your life beating yourself up. I have made numerous poor choices, bad decisions, unhelpful things, but I have been in the last few decades slowly regaining confidence by learning to handle the outcomes. And it does require something of a stiff upper lip to be able to acknowledge, yeah, mea culpa, I got things wrong. It doesn't make me a bad person. It makes me somebody who made mistakes. And the main thing is that I acknowledge the mistakes, that I learn from the mistakes, and that I move on and don't keep beating myself up. So number 5 is celebrate every act of self-expression. You know, whenever you state an opinion or express a preference or decide, honor it. Say, that was me using my voice. It's like me making these videos. There's some people think if you make videos that you're being big-headed, or if you're expressing opinions or views that you're being a narcissist, and all kinds of things that people think. But you have to honor yourself. If you're expressing yourself and you're reclaiming a voice that you didn't have, whether in childhood or in a relationship that didn't work out, you do have to work at reclaiming your voice, and you have to celebrate every act of self-expression. So looking at what can hinder it, well, it can be that you are second guessing of what other people are going to say, what criticisms that they're going to make about it. There can be a deep-seated fear of judgment or rejection. There can also be your own perfectionism and the belief that wrong choices are dangerous, and you know, that kind of fear of making a decision or expressing it. And yeah, a lot of it can come from conditioning from childhood abuse. Your voice is your compass, And when you trust it, you walk your path, not someone else's. And that's really important, because as you rebuild a connection with yourself, you'll find that clarity comes much more easily and confidence will grow naturally. And decisions become acts of self-trust rather than anxiety. And you really need to, celebrate each act of self-expression. So in our next post, we'll build on this and we'll look at creating boundaries that protect your new voice and identity. Because this is your time for a new chapter when you're in charge, living fully and embracing your future with optimism and strength. So let's begin this journey together. If you find this useful and you want to be receiving the new videos, click subscribe, click like, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what your response to this blog post or video, if you're watching the video, what it is, and tell me what your challenges are, and I will respond. So thanks for now. Bye.